welcome back to another
Is he? Are we back on form, Annie?
Well, welcome back to another video. As you can see, I'm back. Do you know what that means? We might get some work done in this video. Just a few updates on the last couple of weeks since I've been out of action. I haven't just been sat on my hands. I've actually finished this table and bench seating area that we were working on. The cushions came, the fit, it's perfect. The dogs, as you can see, love it. We spend them most nights out here till like 9 o'clock, 9:15. We stick the heater on. It's like a perfect little heat trap. There's no wind comes in, so that's been perfect. But now this has done another improvement I'd like to make, but it's just a massive job and I don't really fancy tackling it just yet. Is if Tracy like to turn the camera around where we sit here and look over the garden, there's all fir trees. They were in before we came in. I think the actual people who had the place before us put them in to stop the view of the barn, but the winds blew them over. A lot of them have snapped. They've took the fence down. So a couple of days ago I took off the old branches and fixed the fence back up a little bit, but they all need to come out. We're just thinking about what to put there. Also, it's 5:45 at night now and the sun's all gone off this area, but it's over there in that area until about 9 o'clock at night. So we're thinking about putting something over there, some decking or a pagoda or something. I'd like a hot tub. We'll see how far we get with that, but that's a job on the list for another day when I'm back to full health. But as I'm only 90%, we've got a job on tomorrow in the veg plot, which I'm going to get onto. But before all of that, it's Friday night. We've just finished work, got the grass cut, got the Friday night chores done. So we're going to enjoy a couple of drinks, talk about our plans for tomorrow, and then we'll get cracking. Well, it's Saturday morning. We're fully rested and recharged and raring to go. The animals are all being let out, all fed, so they're all dealt with. And now to turn our hands to this task of the day. So we're just going to prioritise this one task today because it's a pretty big job we need to get on with. So my job for today is these hedges in this area here. So every year we try and cut them back, and every year they seem to get bigger and bigger and bigger. We should try and keep them about 12 inches wide, but these are like 3 feet ish, and they're starting to encroach on this bed here. They're starting to encroach on the path. The same for that one over there. It's encroaching on the long beds that we've got the onions and stuff in over there. So we've come to the decision we're going to take them out. Now people might think, oh well, it's good cover for wildlife and everything like that, but in the background, I don't know if you can see, we've got like 7, 8 foot high hedging over there. It goes all the way around the property. So we have come to the decision we're taking this out. Whether it comes out easy or not, that is yet to be seen. But while I'm concentrating on that, Tracy's going to be doing this bed here, which has been a bit neglected as we've been doing all the work over there. What Tracy's going to be on with, she's going to be on with weeding this. She has planted some stuff in here already. I don't know what's in there, but she'll tell you a bit about that. But that's to uncover. This Jerusalem artichoke comes back every year. Every year we try and dig it out and get rid of it, and it just keeps coming back. So I think we're just going to leave that and accept that it's there. So rather than spread ourselves too thin and think about we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to concentrate all our efforts just on this bit here. So hopefully we'll get it all done. So we're going to limber up.
Will you watch your back,
And,
Stephen?
Get ready to go.
Stop it. It's lifting the roots over here.
Whew. Right. Well, I don't know if you can tell the difference on camera, but it makes a hell of a difference now they're down. But we've got two massive piles to get shifted before we do anything else. But it's just created a hell of a lot more space. So on initial thinking, if you come over here, you can see the onions nearest the hedge, how far behind they are. So obviously it was stopping a lot of sun and stuff getting to them. So putting a high bed in here, which we originally talked about, is just going to do the same thing. So what we think we might do is just make this bed wider to here and just have that as one wide bed and then two lower beds, and maybe put a raised bed in over there. But sun's getting out, it's getting hot. So we're going to get a drink, discuss what we want doing, throw a few ideas about, and then do whatever Tracy says. I've also broken 2 chainsaws in the process, so while I go and get a drink, I think I'll fix these. Well, we've just come in the house to get a drink, and we threw 50 odd eggs in the incubator 3 weeks ago just to see if our chickens were viable at the minute, and we've just noticed 7 chicks hatched. So we're going to have to nip out, get some chick crumb, and we're just making a quick brooder to put in the house to see how many hatch first before we put them in the garage. If we only get 7, we'll leave them in here for a bit. If we get more, then we'll have to make a big one in the garage. But this is just going to be temporary for now.
Do you remember Blue Peter?
I've got a badge upstairs.
Well, we've got a couple of dilemmas, good dilemmas though, always good to have. So this area here is where the hedge was, and obviously over there. We've been measuring out, trying to think, plan was to put a long thin bed here for the carrots and make it high, like Stephen said, so that we can basically use it for a carrot bed every year, and it had been high enough to deter the carrot flies. So the carrot flies apparently only fly kind of up to your knee height. But like Stephen also said, if we do that, we're going to create the same shade on this bed. Problem with this hedge as well was that it sapped all of the moisture from this bed. So rather than recreate the same problem, we're thinking we're going to do something else with this space and probably do containers for now, container pots. So that's the plan at the moment, and the same for over there. It is just really nice to have the open space, to be quite honest. We've obviously got a lot of different height from the different things that we grow in the garden. The next thing that we're looking at is this space here. It would be great to be able to use that right now. There's a lot of weeds that are going to keep coming through if we don't get that suppressed quickly. We could use it right now I was going to put some of those teepees in there, do some of the horizontal growing, but I think the weeds are that paramount in here that we need to get rid of those first. So what we've decided, we've got some black plastic that we were actually given. It was part of that when Stephen got all of those pallets and all of that kind of the stuff that we used in the tack room that we got free from somebody getting rid of a lockup. There was a whole host of black plastic in there, so we haven't bought this, and we think that it'll be ideal to put down on here. We're going to put this humongous, can you see this honeyberry bush, which has already bought some fruit, and they drop off so quickly. We've already lost quite a few fruit off them just from when the wind blows, they drop on the floor. Anyway, so we're thinking that black plastic down, honeyberry bush on top of that, and then we're going to put our other little honeyberry bush on top of that as well. Again, I could maybe put 1 or 2 containers in there with some courgette plants in, you know, some of the old water buckets that we use for the horses that have got holes in, etc. Something like that. So that's what we're kind of thinking at the moment. But in between what we last showed you, I've got finished with this bed, and also we've been doing some more weeding. So this is what that bed looks like now. I have actually used the tiller on it, which I know is again controversial. We have tried to do no dig on multiple different beds. It's worked on some, but on others it's just been a nightmare. I mean, where we live, literally, you know, we're in the middle of the countryside. Even if we could stay weed free on this plot, which we can't, as you guys know, we have got so many things that drift in from all of our neighbouring farms, etc, etc. We just don't really stand a chance. So what I've done, I've tilled it. It looks absolutely fantastic in my opinion. Now I'm going to get this planted up with what we've got at the moment and get some more seeds sown. The sweet peas at the back, we've lost some of them, I think, to slugs in between. Surprise, surprise for this year. but I've also just found my string that I'd lost. I'd misplaced it, and I'm going to be able to get some of these tied up as well, so they're going to look much happier soon, hopefully. That's comfrey that's there. So this bed is now complete, waiting to be planted up. Really pleased with that. And we've also just been weeding in between. That was the bucket that I was sitting on. All down here you can see what's left over. It's difficult obviously to get all of the last bits. Stephen's been down on his hands and knees getting the creeping buttercup that was out there, and we've got the beds are still to do. So as you can see, loads of weeds left in this bed, for example. The herb and bean bed is doing really well. That's pretty much weed free at the moment, well, as weed free as things ever get. And then this potato bed is probably what I'm going to use some of those grass clippings on. A few weeds to take out of here as well. But that's the other honeyberry bush. Stephen's just going to, he's on his way back with the plastic as we speak, and that's going to go in the distance where I've just walked from there. But it really is thick, isn't it?
I think we should go the other way up. It's a bit grey.
It's just gonna, what about the water on the top of it?
It's run off, won't it?
You think? Yeah, but it's a bit too shiny on the other side. You need your sunglasses. You reckon? That's up to you. I'm not passionate about it, dear.
It'll go better like that, won't it?
Interior decorating was never our strong point.
You just have to put a load of stuff on it and hide it.
How are we going to move those blooming things? They're really big and heavy.
These bad boys.
Oh, I'm not, no. No shame. So you don't need me?
You just point that way on.
If anyone's worried about these trees, Stephen's just mentioned it. On the other side of this trellis is more ground, open ground, so they'll be able to get the water from the rain. And we will be keeping these cut back. If we don't cut them back, they literally come right up to the edge of the border there anyway. So they'll be absolutely fine. I know we said originally, Stephen said about putting some seat in there. So you can make some out of pallets, if that's what you still want to do.
As long as it keeps the weeds down, but now we'll sort that out.
Told you it was heavy. There's a potato growing out the back of it.
There.
Oh my goodness, they get everywhere. Yes, there.
Not a bit encroaching on that.
Oh, just bring it forward a little bit, yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, we've got to get the other one past now though. Should we carry that? I did offer to help.
Right, it's 5:30 on Saturday night now. Grace has just come home from work and we checked the chicks earlier and there was 7. Now, we've been keeping away purposefully because when you go over at the incubator, it spooks them and they knock hell out of all the other eggs. So now she's home, she's going to give us a hand. So we've not checked how many there is yet, so this is going to be a surprise. I can guarantee there's more than 7, but we'll take the lid off and we'll have a look. You ready?
Yeah.
Is that a Wilsoner?
Yeah, 2 Wilson. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, oh, 13. That's unlucky, never mind.
Let's leave it.
So we've got 13, we're going to get them over here and into the brooder that
There's
we've
more
made over
picture,
there.
look.
Yeah,
Look. Man, this one's coming out, look.
yeah, this one's
Can you
going
see?
out. So these are our Rhode Island Reds.
Let me hold him.
In fact, They're all Rhode Island Reds.
That's a Welsomer.
No, it's not.
What about that one?
So we're going to...
Oh my god, look, one,
Yeah, no.
two.
So hurry up so we can get there. We've just set this up in the snug for now because the garage is not ready for them. So we're just going to show them the water, put them under the heat, and then we'll just leave them alone for the night. The blue Peter box that I made wasn't going to be suitable because it was too small.
The tiny. That's quite dark, that one. That might be Welsomer. That one.
Hmm.
Well, that's 13 healthy chicks put in there, and there's a few more pipped in there, so we're going to leave them. We'll probably have some more by tonight, hopefully, and they're only due today anyway, so we'll give them another couple of days. But it's not bad start for considering we checked them about 3 days ago and I didn't even think they were fertile. So Grace said leave them in, and we've left them in, and this is the result. It looks like we've got 12 Rhode Island Reds, which is excellent because that's going to be our meat production birds. I think there's only one Welsomer. It might be a Rhode Island Red, I'm not sure yet. It still has to dry out and fluff up a bit yet. But great result for the first day anyway.
Let's not think about meat birds just yet.
All right.
And enjoy them.
Morning everyone, it's Sunday, 6:30. So first job of the morning, check how many chicks we've had overnight. Sounds like a lot of noise in there, so just lift the lid and give them a look. Oh my god. What are we going to do with all them? Oh, right. Well, I think we better have a coffee and then deal with them. I've just checked on the other chicks in there, and we have got 2 in there that have got splayed legs. Like, that means the legs are just flat there and they can't really move, but we've had them in the past, and all we do is we get some wool or some string or something, and we just tie them together. So I've set up another little brooder, and we're just going to get the ones, there'll probably be a couple in there as well, so we'll get a couple bits of string, tie them together, and we'll put them in a separate brooder. But we'll get a coffee, get breakfast, and then we'll show you what we do with them. So all we're doing here is we're just tying the splayed one's legs together a little bit, just to, so when the muscle develops, it keeps the legs together. This will only be for 3 or 4 days, so we're just going to put them in this little separate brooder here. There's only 2, I think. We've actually emptied the other ones out of the incubator. There was another 21 hatched last night, so we've got 34 altogether, and we've just got the 2 with the splayed legs, so not great, but better than 22.
It's closely.
Oh, she's standing up.
Oh.
Learning to walk. Meanwhile, some of us have instant. Brambles. It's not a smooth jam, obviously.
Do you want some bread with that jam?
Then.
Come on, these ones.
Make sure you get them from yours, dear.
Right, well, we've just come back from the local garden centre, so I'm going to get on with my job today. I don't know what Tracy's got on today, but I'm going to show you what I'm going to be on with. Well, one thing that gets neglected around here is the front garden where we are now. So yesterday I spent a bit of time, cut all the grass, and I weeded all these borders here. So I just thought we'd try and maximise a bit of growing space as well. So we did a few years ago try some tomatoes down here, because it is south facing here at the front. So it gets all the sun all day. But like I say, it gets neglected. So we put the tomatoes in. We didn't really look after them. We got a few off them, but we're going to try and maximise it this year. But so Tracy's kindly donated me 10 tomato plants, because I'm going to be looking after it this year. So we'll see how that goes. But first of all, I'm just going to get some bedding plants to put in around here, pretty it up a bit. And I've got all this in front of the windows to weed. I've got a bay tree actually that I got off a friend of mine, which was pot bound in his pot, and it's come back. So I'm going to put that in over there, I think, or over here, not in front of the window. And then we've got these roses to tie back, tidy them up a bit. If I get it all done, I'm going to make a couple of plant pots for the front, either side of the door there, and then just tidy all this sage up here in front of the grass, because it's just gone wild. So plenty to do, and not much time to do it in. Coolio, right. So got all the weeds out. Got 2 in there. I'm going to measure from these canes, get them perfect, because I like a bit of OCD, just to make it look nice. And then we'll get on with planting the little what are they called, bedding plants that we've got. And then I can get on with the fun bit of making the planters. So right, let's measure out.
Well, the parsnips didn't survive. Even if they had survived, they certainly haven't survived the bed preparations that we've done since. And I have to be honest now, I'm looking at this now kind of, what on earth do I actually put in here? Because I was going to do the main crop carrots, which I still might do some in here, but I've got them over there, as you know, and I'm going to have to then mesh them in here from the carrot fly, and if it's going to be a mix of other things, it's going to be more difficult to mesh. So I've just literally gone to the cold frame, picked out the celery, and said, right, just get planting, just get started. Now I think this first bit's just off camera, but I'm just going to plant up to where the hedge was. Like I say, I'm just going to get started, get going, because this wasn't the plan. And it says about 12 inches apart, which to me is a ruler. And I think these celery have more than one plant, but that's okay, because I'll just be taking them off, and I won't be using the plant, sort of taking the whole plant at a time. I'll just snap bits off as we need it. But I just need to get something in. I've got the greenhouse getting watered at the moment. Oh my gosh, there's loads in here. Whew. So when I'm ready, I'll go and grab the hose pipe. We'll give these a good soaking. God, you can tell where the roots are still obviously under the ground, and always stealing the moisture from this bed. I'm so pleased that we've got rid of it. Hoping this is a straight line. Man, that's tough. That's not straight. That's not straight at all. Straight like a fish. Previous owner used this bed to have fires in, and we still to this day find stuff in it from that. Oh. So hot, so hot. 1, 2, 3, 6, 9. Do one more. I've just looked on the camera. Oh, and I have to move this one over or else Stephen will have sleepless nights. Is that a bit better? Makes it less obvious. Sure, it'll be fine. Kind of straight. Excuse the dishevelled look. It is super hot, but thankfully I'm in the shade at the moment. This here, what on earth am I doing? I've asked Stephen to give me a hand because I had a good idea. At least I thought it was. He's not so convinced. I'm putting climbing squash against the edge of this bed, and I was going to create a sort of an A-frame, like using these canes, but an A-frame, and I was thinking I'm going to waste a lot of space doing that. So I had the idea, I thought, right, if we use one of these long pallets that he got, we can just balance that. Or, I mean, I said I would just balance it, and he said, Tracy, what you've done is going to blow down in the next wind. So of course now he's helping out. He's going to get a screwdriver. There's fence posts and things have turned up, and he's going to secure that. And I'm thinking we could even maybe get even 4 squash. I'd put this TP in. It's not done at the top just yet. I'd put that in before, so I think what I might do is move that one. It just looked nice and neat in the corner there, but I'm not sure anyway. So he's going to get this secured. I will get the 4 climbing squash in there, and then we'll go from there. I'll probably move the TP. I'm not too sure yet, but doesn't that look fantastic? Now, other things that I've been getting on with behind me, I'm not going to turn the camera, I'm just going to point. The other TP is secured. Stephen did that for me, and I've planted that up with more climbing squash. I'll go through all the varieties on just a dedicated gardening video, and also the climbing beans are in there as well. It is absolutely roasting. And also, did I show you yesterday, I got the leeks in the ground yesterday, and I've done the sweet corn today as well. As I say, we'll do a dedicated gardening video for people that are more interested in just that. Heard the gate go, so he must be on his way back. Happy with that? Goodness me, don't fall. Thank you.
Well, it's late afternoon now, and we're going to have to adapt our plans because these chicks just keep coming. So we're going to have to take them out of here because it's a little bit small. I've set a brooder up, a bigger brooder under the heat lamp in the garage. So we're going to move them from here into the garage. We've got another 6 hatched in the incubator. So I'm just going to, if you want to come over here, I'm just going to lift this up and show you how many we've got at the minute, because this is going to be a little bit tight for them. Chicks galore. So we don't even know how many we've got, so we're just going to count them, get them in this box, and then transfer them into the brooder in the garage. So we've just counted them as we're putting them in. We ended up with 40, considering I was only expecting 7. We ended up with 40. So we're a bit overwhelmed with chicks at the minute. So we're going to get these in, get the 6 out of the incubator and put them, join them with these, and then get on with the rest of our day.
Well, it's much later in the week now, and we didn't get a chance to finish off the video on Sunday, and we've had a super busy week here on the Smallholding, but more to do with celebrating family birthdays and things like that. So it's Thursday night, and we're going to quickly show you what we got finished off before we start the next weekend. So Stephen worked out here, I think he talked about the planters that he was making. If not, these are the planters that he pulled together. They're looking absolutely fantastic, and we've got a couple of little fuchsia bushes in those which should look absolutely beautiful once they come into flower, and a nice pop of colour. The other thing that we were gifted here is a bay tree off a friend that he had it got pot bound, and he passed it over to Stephen and said, can you do anything with this? And of course we're never going to turn anything like that down. That is doing really well. It's been sat in a bucket of water, and it's looking really well in the ground. He's got all of this weeded here, and let me show you what we got from the garden centre, because I've got something really special to talk about in just a minute. Stephen grabbed some of these bedding plants when we went along there to our favourite garden centre just down the road. And do you remember he said that he was taking some of the tomato plants off me? Well, he managed to get those in. He's put all of the canes in symmetrically, so they're all exactly however many feet apart and however many feet in the ground. And it took him a canny while to get that done, but those tomatoes are looking fantastic. If you have a look, you can see, I think this one will be a Bloody Butcher tomato variety, because this is a potato leaf. And if you look at the style of leaf on this tomato, it's a more traditional variety, so I'll be interested to see what we actually get there. And then just behind where Stephen is now, we have got an absolutely huge sage bush, and he's chopped the front of this off because it was literally taken over the path far too much. But this here is now drying in the greenhouse, and we're going to dry that out and store it in the pantry for winter. When we went to the garden centre on Sunday, Stephen and I bumped into an absolutely lovely couple who apparently watch our channel. After we got over the fact that somebody even watches the channel and took the time to say hello, they told us something really important, which leads us on to something else. Let's go and check on how the chicks are doing in the garage.
We've just took a detour on the way to the garage to pick up these 3 chicks that we kept in the house. We kept one of them because it was a lot weaker than the other, and it's thriving now, and the other 2 had really splayed legs. Well, we tied them together with some wool, because we've done that in the past with ducklings and with chicks, and it's worked really well. So we've already cut the wool, and they seem to be walking fine on their own. So we're just going to take them out and show you where the wool's being cut, but when we put them down, they're supporting themselves, they're running about, so that's worked fantastic. So now we're just going to add them to the rest of the group. So these are the 2 that we've cut the wool and had the legs tied together. So we're just going to put these with the rest of them, and hopefully they'll live happy together. Small. Or they're coming to, some of them coming to check them out. And this one over here was the one that was a little bit weak. So hopefully he'll thrive when we put him in. No, you can't stay with the humans. You got to go over there with the chicklets. Well, like Tracy said, when we were at the garden centre, we met a couple of people who watch our videos, and they said they have 2 kids who watch our channel. So we just thought we'd give them a shout out, and we called 2 of the chicks. They're the names of the kids. So just like to meet Ava, who will hopefully grow up to be a lovely little hen, and Jacob, who will hopefully grow up to be a big healthy cockerel. So there you go.
So we will bring you regular updates on how Ava and Jacob the chickens are doing, and we just want to wish Ava and Jacob, our viewers, all the very best of luck with your chickens on your allotment small holding as well.
Well, that's it from us this weekend. We'll catch up with you next weekend when we've got more jobs on the agenda.
Bye for now.